Happy Wednesday. It's Wealthy Wednesday. I'm Kamari Ellis here. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., we do a live broadcast and we interact with everybody and we answer your money questions, whether it be questions about taxes, stocks, insurance, investments, real estate, business. Any money question is on the table. Again, I'm Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. We've got over 20 years of experience in financial services, from accounting and tax to Wall Street investing and a whole lot of other stuff in between. But listen, like I said, every week we have a good time. I do a broadcast here and we answer questions. I broadcast live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and much of the show actually gets repurposed onto my podcast as well. So do me a favor. Make sure y'all listening to the podcast. And when you listen to the podcast, give me a rating and a review. So like you got to actually type some stuff and say if you like the show or not. All of it helps, right? All of it helps me get found or get the show found by people who are looking to up level their financial IQ, who are looking to get a better understanding of financial education. I do all this so we can get a better foothold on becoming financially free. Not financially grabbing the bag so we can go buy some other crap, some other materialistic stuff. But when I say financially free to take care of our children, take care of our babies, make sure they got books, right? Make sure our people can get proper medical attention and healthcare and all that stuff. Money. As I love to tell all my revolutionary folks, is you can't have a revolution without revenue. Many of us, sadly, think that you can do it without that, and that just ain't the case. Now, you can do a whole lot without money, right? I'm not trying to sit here and say that money is the end all or money buys happiness. No, I'm not trying to say that. But in today's society, you're going to need some good old cashola to make some things happen, at least if you are thinking about the community in which you live. And the community I live in, or at least I'm from, is the Black community, right? I'm Black. When you look at me, I am Black. You can't get away from it. People even say I sound Black, whatever that means. So as everybody comes in, make sure y'all say y'all salutations, y'all what's ups, y'all head nods. Let me know where you're from, where you're hailing from, and what questions you might have. I know we got a couple questions tonight. I see a bunch of people on Instagram. Reg Lee, how are you? All right, young strong MD says, all right, so I was talking on my Instagram first, right? So there's a couple of comments in here I just want to acknowledge just before we get going. Young strong DMG says, all is a reach. Majority is starting to see financial empowerment as new light. I don't know about that. I don't know that they feel financial empowerment is the new light. I feel my feelings. I feel that materialism and being draped or clothed in financial freedom or financial independence is the new light. Because everybody loves to show off their Lambos, their rented Lambos. Everybody likes to show off their rented jets. And I don't have a problem with any of it, right? But at the end of the day, that's not what it's really about. What it's really about, and I've got to talk about DMX just a little bit. Swiss Beats said something the other day when he talked about X, right? And I think you could always learn from anybody. But when Swiss Beats talked about X, he said he never had any Lambos, never had any Bentleys, was never iced out. Man had 30 million in the bank and he still would go out and feed the homeless. To me, that's what it's about. It's about service. It's about service to your fellow man. That's what I believe. That's what I live. That's what I breathe. I'm sure other people will disagree with me. I can't sit up here and tell people what to do with their money, but I've seen a lot of stuff. And so when we start talking about money and we start talking about community, I don't think you can separate the two. And I don't think you can separate the two when we talk about our overall struggle. All right. So, but let's get the party started. I see there's a couple more questions in there. I want to address the question first that I got from my man Mickey from the Bronx, from the BX. All right, Mick, I see you're from you said Pelham. So I think you're kind of close to my folks who are over there near Ogden and University Avenue. So give me a second. I got to go find a question because they sent it to me on Instagram. And he allowed me to share it with our folks because I thought it was a good question. And I thought it was a good question that everybody could potentially benefit from. So give me 1 second as I pull that question up. While you're waiting, do me a favor, go ahead and throw your questions in the chat. Go ahead and share this out with anybody who's looking to learn. Brittany, what's up, Brittany? Congratulations. My homegirl just got married. Listen, everybody say congratulations to Brittany. She just got married. She just jumped the broom. So she is now a happy bride. So congratulations to her. That's what's up. All right, y'all. So I'm going to pull this question up. And let's see. Let's see if I can stretch this out some. All right, so y'all get to see some of my other chats, but that's okay. I ain't got nothing to hide. All right, so on the screen here, Mickey reached out to me yesterday, it looks like, right? So he said, hey, Kamari, glad I found you on Instagram. Not sure if you answer to help followers. Yes, I do. All right, but I wanted your opinion. I have just turned 45. So me and Mickey are the same age. All right, I work at a small tech company for the last 17 years. I own the mortgage on a home. I'm assuming he means that he has his home that he owns and he has a mortgage on it. Or, you know what? He said LOL after that. So he says, I own a mortgage on a home. So I kind of get it. It's kind of play on words. All right. Have about 200K in equity. So for all of y'all who don't understand equity in real estate, right, you can have a home that's worth, let's say, $300,000, right? And you could have a mortgage on it that's $100,000. All right. So then in between, the gap in between is the equity. That's the money that's free and clear to take out, or the money you get to walk away with if you sell. All right. So I have about 200K in equity. I have saved about 50K in cash. Congratulations. I have 30K and 15K in Roth, which I haven't done right by. I'm not sure why you say that. I have another 12K in the stock market. No debt. 800 credit score. I have life insurance. Paid for a 2009 car. Guess what? I drive a 2009 car as well. Guess what? I'm not in a rush to get rid of that 2009 car either. Been reading and doing a ton of research on investing and have some real estate, Any advice for me for long term? I have a 2-year-old son that I want to do better for. Thanks in advance. And so then I ask, some follow-up questions because I always want whatever I'm giving to really speak to what's on a person's heart, not what I want them to do. So I asked, what was his goals, right? And so he said that, hold on. He says, that would be awesome. My goals for building wealth and financial freedom. If not for me, for him. When he says his son, especially as a young adult, I'm financially fit, have a job that I love. That's important. And work with great people. That's important too. Toxic workplaces suck. I have freedom to do side work occasionally. All in all, it's about doing the right thing with investments, even buying an investment property. All right. So y'all got that right. All right. So this is my commentary of what I would share to Mick because he asked me to do it. So I think you're on a great path. Keep that car that you got. All right, that 2009, go ahead and send it to the shop, get it all topped off, cleaned up, checked out, make sure it can run right. Because you should keep that sucker and avoid a car payment as long as possible. Keep the oil changed on it. But I'm sure those are all things you already know. All right. In terms of doing right for your son and what should you do, I would check your life insurance. Make sure you have plenty of life insurance because none of us know the time or the hour. Right. Again, none of us know the time or the hour. And if you said you're serious about your son, you want to make sure he's covered, whether you are here or not. Sadly, if you were gone tomorrow, your income would disappear. Right. And then so he's only 2. He's got another 16 years to go. And who knows, how much longer he might need or help he might need. So I would look at getting at least $1 million in life insurance. Again, these are not recommendations. This is not financial advice. These are just my opinions. This whole show is for education and entertainment purposes. All right. So I would look at getting at least $1 million in coverage. I believe that if everybody with a child at least had $1 million in coverage, we could see a massive turnover in wealth in our community. Because guess what? Everybody's going to die at some point. And I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be flagrant. I'm just telling the truth and talking about the facts, y'all. I'm not going to be here forever. You are not going to be here forever. So, it's incumbent upon us to do the best that we can for our loved ones that we want to see do well and have generational wealth. Okay. I would also say check your beneficiary designations, right, on your life insurance that you have now, that you might have on your 401k. Make sure that it's going to the people that you wanted to go to. I can't tell you how many horror stories I've seen and been a part of when money was dispersed to people that wasn't initially intended to. Okay. In terms of investments, I'm guessing you probably want to ask or know, should you save for your son in like a 529 or a custodial account and things like that? And I think you can do both. I don't know, again, exactly what you want to do if you have dreams and aspirations for your son to go to college or some other kind of tech school or something like that. But you can start saving now. One thing I would do is I would start buying him stock now, right now, right now, right now. And then you could kind of tell him the story of how you started to begin buying him stock when he was a toddler. And then that becomes a great story that you could pass down. Listen, y'all, wealth and legacy is not just money. It's also in the stories and the work, right? Because the work becomes a story. The history becomes a story that we're able to tell our children and our young ones as we go along. And they're able to see the fruits of the labor of those seeds that you planted that you're able to harvest later on. And the stock are seeds that you're planting now that you will be able to harvest later on, that he will be able to harvest later on. And you can say, look, I started planning for this a long time ago. And everything doesn't just happen overnight. This took a lifetime to build. And so hopefully you will be a good steward of this money and protect it for a lifetime, right? And so, I would start there, but I would start, buying them stock, again, looking at life insurance, making sure the car is tip top. Again, I'm sure you are doing those things already, but I always like to reiterate it because, every now and again we get a little itch. We want something nice. We want something pretty. And that's okay. We're human beings. I get it. I totally get it. So, and I would continue to just keep investing what you're doing now and keep investing in yourself. You said you're also interested in real estate. I believe you said you have another piece of real estate. I would also look for a real estate investor as well, because it seems like that's what you're most interested in. All right. So, Mickey, feel free to reach back out to me at any point. Would love to, chop it up, answer more questions for you, the whole nine. All right. So I see there's some other questions as well. Young Strong DMG. Yes, money is steroids for opportunity. Money is also steroids for misfortune as well. We see that every time somebody wins the lottery or gets a major windfall, and they're not used to money. They usually mess up the bag. So, I'm not sure which flag that is, Young MG. You said some are materialistic, so are Asians and Europeans. Everybody's materialistic, all human beings to a certain degree. However, some people, and we can look at this, right? Some people are able to put a different priority on things. Some people put a higher priority on their people and culture, right? And they do it based on their situation than others. And so that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no. So don't get me wrong, Young Strong DMG. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you should take a vacation. Yes, you should take time. Mental health is real, but we also have to realize that time is finite. Money is finite. So we have to make sure we prioritize things so we can do what they want to do. Now, I'm not the one to tell nobody what to do with their money. right? I give you commentary on what I see in the markets. If people ask me questions, I'll answer them. I actually reluctantly talk about like certain money issues. And when I do so, I try to be as respectful as possible. So, I mean, again, I agree with that. But again, if we're going to be honest about this, right, and we're going to be honest about the position of Black folks, and we're going to look at it and just be honest, a lot of the money that we use could be used for better in our community and better in our situation. And I believe, this is just me, our ancestors didn't just fight all this way for us to just take a vacation. Yes, don't get confused, right? I don't want to lose you in the nuance. Yes, we should take vacations. Yes, we should check in for our mental health. But I believe we should be very purposeful, right? And impactful with our money as much as possible also. Give you an example. Only 2% of Black folks spend money with Black-owned businesses. Now, y'all know I love me some Black-owned businesses. I talk about them every chance I get. The reason why I love Black-owned businesses is because Black-owned businesses hire Black people the most outside of the federal government. All right? So we're talking about wealth, we're talking about our condition. One of the best things, one of the most immediate things we can do is spend money with other Black-owned businesses. It's immediate impact. All right? But we don't. We only spend about 2% of our money with Black businesses. Where's the other 98% going? Right? We can still take a vacation. Right? We can still get some things. I'm not against any of that. Right? We can still eat good, but can we be intentional with our money? Every other culture comes into our community and basically steals our power, i.e. our dollars, and takes it and finances their own community. So those are the things I'm talking about. Like, it's really deeper than just the dollar. It's deeper than just the dollar. Oh, snap. Woohoo. Y'all, all right. So I didn't mention this to anybody, but I just got approved for monetization on YouTube. And I just got my first super chat, $1.99. JT Coins, you are the man or woman. Not sure, but thank you, family. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But back to what I was saying, right? Only 2%. Like, this is a study. Everybody go check out Maggie Anderson's book called Our Black Year. This woman dedicated 1 year of her life to buy Black. Had a hard time doing it. Got ridiculed in mainstream media. By the way, mainstream media is a devil. I'll come back to that later. But everybody on mainstream media was saying that she was racist because she was buying Black. So she was intentionally buying Black. Anybody seeing the disconnect here? Is it just me? Is it just me? I find it very interesting that we have the most problems and we also throw away the majority of our money. We also throw away the majority of our political power as well. It's a whole nother conversation. Don't want to go too deep in that. So By the Hood. All right. So my man Jimmy is on Instagram and on YouTube. And on Facebook. So shout out to Jimmy over on By the Hood. By the way, blessings to Jimmy. Love to Jimmy. I just listened to Jimmy and Karan. So if any of y'all been rocking with me, Karan's usually here every Wednesday and usually every Saturday. And he also is here with me during the Black Wealth Project, which we do every Sunday. So Jimmy By the Hood just interviewed Karan. Great interview. Very transparent interview. I mean, me and Karan are friends. I'm sure I knew Karan before Jimmy did. And there was some stuff that Jimmy pulled out of Karan that I didn't even know. So it was a great interview. So I say all that to say, make sure y'all go on over to By the Hood and listen to the By the Hood podcast. Download that. All right. So let me get to these other questions. All right. So Mickey Cruz says, haven't put it in every year that I should. Okay. All right. We'll start now. Yeah. Right. Jay Nicewell said, word up, keep that car. Yeah, keep that car. Now, I do have some clients, right? I'm going to be totally transparent with you. I do have some clients that are car lovers. They have to get a car every 3 years. I have them get leases. Not because I think that's the best financial thing to do, but it's the thing that works with them, with their mindset. So that's what I have to work to do. All right. My man, buy the hood. All right, y'all. I'm feeling good now. First day I get monetized, I'm getting a couple dollars. All right, by the hood, thank you so much for the super chat. $5. Appreciate it, sir. Appreciate you, family. Jimmy says, appreciate you, family, supporting everywhere to fight the algos. Yes. We're definitely fighting the algos. All right. Guys, an investor. What's up, Gia? How you doing? Yo, that last live I saw you on was awesome. Yes, truth is the truth. Okay, so Mickey says he has a UTMA account. All right, that's dope. Yeah, so just keep buying stocks for him and talk to him about stocks. Talk to him about money. I can't tell y'all how important that is. And it don't got to be nothing really heavy, y'all. I don't talk to my children as much as I would like to because I want to talk about it all the time. But every now and again, I'll get in a good conversation. I just did with them. Speaking of cars, right? So there is a car that I would like to get. I'm not going to say no names though, because ain't nobody paid me for no advertisements. And so I looked at the car. It's an SUV. It's about 40 grand, right? It's about 40 grand. And so I asked my kids, I said, what do y'all think? Should I get this car? I said, is it worth it? I said, how many hours do I have to work a day? It was like, well, I don't know how many hours you work, how much you charge. I said, well, let's just do it at minimum wage because I do think sometimes my clients beat all the money out of me at times. All right, so minimum wage. So we had to look at minimum wage. We was all wrong about it. I thought minimum wage was like $8.50. Minimum wage is like either $7.50 or $7.25. So I said, how many hours would I have to work? They calculated the hours, both of them. And they said, that's a lot of time and a lot of money. And I said, well, do y'all think it's worth it? And my son retorts back and he says, well, it's probably not the best use of your money. Now, he also likes to be funny because he'll say what he thinks I want him to hear. But I said, but why? Why does it get you some money? He's like, well, you could put that use to do something else. He said, you could buy stocks or you could buy some clothes or you could buy that new, that I got to buy something new around here. I was telling him the list. I got to buy a new, the thingy, y'all. Somebody help me. The thing that spins with the wash clothes with. The dishwasher, not the dishwasher, washing machine. So I got to buy one of those. So he's like, you can buy the washing machine. So I said, all right. I said, you at least thinking. All these conversations are just to start conversation, thinking about money. You can never master your money if you never think about it. You can't master something you don't think about. So, Nicole Noel, how are you? Welcome. All right, cool. The Carmel Vegan, how are you? Welcome. I appreciate you as well. I appreciate the question. Danny Details, how are you? Sunny 5 Kids, how are you? Jack, the first 3, what's up, brother? Shelby Martin, how are you, sir? All right, let's get to this question, and then I'll get to my folks over there on Facebook and YouTube. I'm trying to look at this. It's not, oh, there it is. Okay, so Jay Knight says, I'm probably really late, but what is your take on virtual currencies? To buy, not buy? I don't have a problem with virtual currencies. I have been labeled the Bitcoin hater. I'm not. I'm not at all, right? But see, here's the thing, and I tell people all the time, it all depends. There's no cookie cutter response for your money, right? So it depends. I get people a lot of times that'll hit me up and say, I got $100 in savings. Matter of fact, here's a story for y'all. I have a client today that said, hey, I haven't brought any Bitcoin. Why haven't I brought any Bitcoin? And my response to him was, you keep raiding your savings account. And so since he keeps taking money out of his savings account, he only has about 2 months worth of savings. And so, in my opinion, with his rate of spending, his recklessness, his carelessness, his because he's going to see this too, so I hope he sees this. His lack of being undisciplined, it doesn't allow you to take advantage of these other investment opportunities because you can't take care of first things first. First things first is build your foundation. First things first is make sure that you can thrive and survive if anything comes through. And by the way, this person that I'm speaking about has means out the wazoo. So he has no excuse. None whatsoever. He is not a minimum wage worker. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. And so I said, listen, stop rating your savings and then you can start investing. Have no problem with it. You can get Bitcoin. You can get some other things. Have no problem with it. All right. So wanted to oh man, thank you, JT. All right. So Don Johnson says bye. It's situational, but I don't have a problem with it. I tell people all the time, listen, if you don't have a lot of savings, what you can do is you can start dollar cost averaging. And that means it's taking some money and just start equal. I really got a loss for words tonight, y'all. Start investing into a thing systematically over time, right? So you can take $25 every time you get paid, and you can buy some Bitcoin or some Ethereum or whatever it is that you want to buy. So I don't have a problem with it. Just don't do it at the risk of your overall financial health. All right. So Fano last name, how are you? Welcome. 9/11 party, how are you? Nicole Knowles says, question, 1031 exchange, can I use it for crowdfund purchase? How would you do that? All right, so for everybody that doesn't understand what a 1031 exchange is, 1031 exchange actually is a section of the tax code. Y'all know me and my homegirl, Courtney, always says that the tax code is a cheat code. She actually says that. I say you don't have a wealth strategy if you don't have a tax plan in place. All right, so 1031. What did I say? Oh, I said no, Noel. I'm sorry, my bad. So 1031 exchanges. If you have, let's say you have a building that's worth, I don't know, $1 million, and you only paid, let's say you paid $200,000 for it, right? So you have $800,000 in it in equity, and just for easy math, let's just say that's also $800,000 in gain. And so you got $800,000 in gain. When you go to sell it, guess who's coming with their grubby little hands and grubby little fingers? Your good old least favorite uncle, Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam's coming to get your bread. All right, so you got to pay Uncle Sam. You can avoid paying Uncle Sam if you do what Nicole just talked about, doing a 1031 tax-free exchange. Now, I've never personally done a 1031 tax-free exchange. I know several people have done them. I've kind of walked through and kind of advised on a couple of scenarios, but I haven't done one soup to nuts. What you have to do is when you sell this property, you have to find an intermediary who will take your money, will take your profits, hold the money for you, right? And they'll hold the money for you while you are identifying a new property to move the money into, or to take your profits and to buy into this new property. And you have a certain time frame. I want to say it's either 60 or 90 days. I'll have to look that up. But I would say, as I talk this through, I'm going to say no, but it's not a hard no because I need to research it, right? I don't know everything off the top of my fingers, or the top of my head. But I would say no because it's crowdfunded. So how do you disperse an asset with gains tied to one person to many? And so then I think that would be an issue. I think that would be a legal issue. So we definitely had to check that out and see how it would be. But that's an interesting question, Nicole. And why are you just now correcting me on how to say your name? You've been rocking with me for a while, so I'm mad at you. Achievement, how are you? All right. How was everybody? Oh man, so y'all are spoiling me. JT Coins $9.99. Congratulations on the monetization. I'm trying to get my hours now. All right. I don't know if I'm following you or not. I definitely will check out your page though. All right, so what else we got going on here? Michelle, I don't have a 401k at work, or Michael, is that Michelle or is it Michael? I don't have a 401k at work, and my wife wants me to invest in something other than my stock. She mentioned an IRA, any other options, maybe an annuity. So my question is, why don't you invest in your, you said you don't have a 401k. So yeah, I would look at a Roth. I would look at a Roth IRA probably before an annuity. Annuities are cool, but what's an annuity? Annuity is basically a life insurance contract, kind of masked as an insurance product or as an investment product. You put the money in, money grows tax free, and oftentimes you can pull the money out tax free. Sometimes, not all the times, right? With the Roth, though, I like the Roth option a little bit better. The expenses in the Roth are typically a lot cheaper than that of the insurance contract / annuity contract. And you will have more investment options with the Roth than you would the annuity. So I would look at the annuity. All right. Jose's in the building. What's up, Jose? How are you? All right. I don't think I even got to speak properly to my Facebook fam. So what's up, Don? How are you? What's up, Douglas? How are you? Douglas, I got my package. I was supposed to have it on today. I'll wear it next time. Hello to you, JT. Appreciate you again. All right. So I'm feeling the love today. Some days I tell you, man, I be wondering if anybody's listening, but y'all are listening. All right. So Jimmy says the 6F businesses. So I'm not going to tell y'all what 6F is. You have to look up what 6F is on the color chart, and you'll know what it is. But he's right. We give all our money to 6F businesses, and that's not a great thing. It's not a good thing at all. All right. And yes, black love equals black wealth equals black power. We got to get that. We need the love so we can get the wealth, so we can get the power. And sometimes it's one big circle. So sometimes you can get the power and then get the wealth, but it's not that often. First, you get the money, then you get the power. Then you can tell those folks to respect you. Why can you tell them to respect you? Because you can buy them. A lot of people have a price tag and they can be brought. So I'm just being honest. I do believe people over profits. I do believe integrity over everything, but everybody is not built like that, nor do they care about that. Okay, JT Coins is a legend in precious metals. All right, legend status. I don't think I knew that. I know I didn't know that. So, all right. So who else has questions? All right, I know. Oh, word. Okay, so Nairobi is just a little. Okay, that's dope. So I'm sure you were all tied in with the Bottle Hood family then. All right, so who brought Coinbase? I don't see any questions, so I'm just going to talk. Who brought Coinbase? Who was looking at Coinbase? Now, y'all know how I feel about these IPOs, and I know technically Coinbase wasn't a real IPO. It was direct listing. What's the difference? All right. So IPO, again, is transition a company from being a privately owned company to a publicly owned company, right? That's a direct listing, and that is an IPO. Usually, though, when you talk about a direct listing, or let me back up. IPO, what it normally happens is you get some investment bankers involved, and the investment bankers kind of market and chop your deal around and gets the hype rolling. Now, Coinbase, as y'all all know, already's got hype, right? People already know about it. They got plenty of market pull. So they didn't necessarily need it. By the way, the investment bankers, they ain't cheap. Not by a little bit. All right. So they didn't need that. So they went to market. And so I'm going to pull up the chart. Let's pull up the chart. Because I've been playing around with my TikTok a little bit because a couple of people was like, Amari, I got to get on TikTok. And I haven't really taken the time to really figure it out. But I said, all right, I'll start trying to figure it out. And so I just did a quick synopsis because somebody asked me, should they buy Coinbase today? That happens every time there's an IPO. One thing I can just about guarantee is that anytime there's an IPO, people will be engaged in it. People don't realize that IPOs are really marketing events more so than they are financial events. And obviously, finances and marketing go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other. But, I always say to people that, IPOs are not good for regular, everyday people on the first day. All right. So I wanted to make sure I covered everything. Coinbase is doing a direct listing. They're not using the typical investment bank IPO structure. All right. They avoided all the fees. However, it's still got a lot of hype. Right. And what happens usually on IPO day, and you can go back and look at a whole bunch of big IPOs from Facebook to Twitter to, I'm trying to think of some other ones on the top. I don't have it right now. But you'll usually see that they run up really hard on the first day, the day the IPO. And then they tend to fall and fall and fall. And that tends to be the pattern every time there's an IPO. Every last time. So I tell folks to avoid them. Clearly, y'all not hearing me, though. Y'all not hearing me because, as usual, somebody asked me about an IPO. So I can always have content to create around IPOs. Now, I did look at the S1 briefly. I didn't go into a whole lot of do a deep dive into it. I will say Coinbase is making money. They're definitely making money. Over this last year, 2019, they lost bread. 2020, they came back with a vengeance. They ran it back up. So I just want to look at this real quick. True to form. I mean, I can't even say I predict this, right? Because it just happens all the time. So Coinbase opened at $381. That's this bar here. The bars you are looking at on the chart right now, the 5-minute bars. So each one of these bars represents 5 minutes of data. So I apologize to the people that are listening on my podcast and everybody that's watching on IG. Hopefully I can walk through it and you can get an understanding of it. So every bar, each one of these bars is, again, a 5-minute bar, and this is the price action for the day. So at 9:30, when the stock market opened, Coinbase hit 381. Then it ran to 409. Okay. Then it ran to 424. But then it started to fall. And then from there, it was like a knife falling. So it ran up a little bit, and just like a roller coaster, it got to the top, it got to the apex, and then it fell. And then it dropped down. And so what time is this? Here at 4 o'clock, it closed at 328. Is that right? Yeah. Started 327. Closed at 327. And so it closed at 327. So true to form, you could almost say that I got my own crystal ball. I got some bones. I got some tea leaves. I got something. But I tell people all the time, again, avoid IPOs. Why? Because the hype. Don't follow the hype, man. You could have a good company. Coinbase actually looks to be like a good company. There's plenty of market share demand. They're basically a broker that's going to provide services who want to buy crypto. Is there a lot of interest in crypto? Hell yeah. So they're going to have people that are going to want to do business with them, right? But when it comes to stocks, sometimes it makes sense to be patient. All right. It makes sense to not try to rush in and follow everybody else, y'all. So, I mean, in the yard, so JT Coin said he was rocked out with Coinbase. All right. Steven says, quick. All right, hold on. I'll come right back to you, Steven, or Stephen. I'm not sure how you say your name. Right. And so, again, Coinbase actually looks like it's going to shape up to be a good company. Like I talked about earlier, well, on the IG live feed, not sure about their management, right? They say they are a company that is for making the markets open, democratization of finance, But people who are being disenfranchised and generally who don't have access to the markets, who are unbanked, are black folks. And then so when you don't want to take a position on BLM or Black Lives Matter or George Floyd, to me, it seems a bit disingenuous how you're going to sit here and say that you're for the unbanked and underprivileged folks when it comes to finance, when you don't even want to talk about the real issues. So, but I get it. I get it. I get it. Yes, Nicole, just like Facebook. That is correct. That's actually when I started to get a little, I guess, cachet. I had a radio show in Philly on 900 AM, WURD, and I called the Facebook IPO. I told people not to buy it. And then ever since then, I was golden. But here's the truth. I told people not to buy it. I missed the up, though. So I was right on one end, and I didn't call it on the back end when it started to pop because I wasn't really watching it. So can't get them all. But that's why I always say, when people say they never miss out or they never lose or their system's 100%, I say they're full of caca. So, well, listen, everybody who is here, you are watching the Finance Rebel Show. This is our Wealthy Wednesday segment. I appreciate all of you here. Every week on Wednesdays, we talk about money. I answer your questions live, right here, right now. No research, no nothing. I do it all right here. I will pull up an occasional screen here or there, but I usually don't have to. All right. Hey, Miss Edna, Miss Elegant Designs, I know who you are now. All is well. Now listen, did y'all miss me? Because I missed y'all. I wasn't here last week. Been super duper busy. It's tax season. I wasn't here Saturday. Again, been super duper busy. Trying to catch up, trying to make sure people aren't mad at me. Some people get mad at me. I just saw an email flash up on the screen. He said, well, I want to get my taxes done. But they didn't see the notice where I asked them for something. They never responded. So it's always interesting, right? Tax season is always an interesting thing. It's always a great exercise in customer service. So here we are. But I missed y'all. I felt a little out of sorts not being here. I did. Tell no lies. All right. So what other questions do y'all have? Any other questions? KC 7500, how are you? Lady T-Dish, how are you? All right, so Nicole says she's waiting for more on that. I don't blame you. Okay, so Bayina, you didn't buy in. All right, smart. Connection Consulting 215, how are you? Welcome. All right, so any other questions, or do y'all just want to hear me rant? Because I got some more. But I always got some. I said Edith, didn't I? Well, don't get me going. I'm tired. My college, he calling me Judith. All right, my bad. All right, can you recommend a book on candlestick charts? I don't have a book, but I think Jimmy's still on. Let me grab my my Botherhood affiliate link. Jimmy and Corey over at Botherhood University have I want to say it's a candlestick, or it's either an intro to technical charts done with Lance. So give me, matter of fact, do me a favor, just send me a DM and I'll send it to you. Jimmy and Corey been getting busy. They got a whole bunch of courses. I need to catch up on my courses. Me and Courtney got to put some more stuff out. I want to be like those guys over there. All right, so any other questions? Yes, but Denise's new book is out. I want to buy it. I want to do a review. Guess who's in the book? Y'all? The Ivy Investor. Not only the Ivy investors in there, my homegirl Tony Moore is in there too, the lawyer. So I got two homegirls in there, and I think, matter of fact, Kevin Matthews from Building Bread is in there as well. So it's dope. Y'all will probably never hear me give any of the quote unquote social media gurus any accolades, but I love me some Tiffany Budgenisha Aliche. I think she's dope. And that's no diss to nobody else, but I really like her. I like her. Of course, I like Courtney. Of course, I like Baba Hood, but I like Tiffany. I like Tiffany a lot. I think her stuff sound. So, gotta give a shout out to Tiffany. And she's doing it big. Get good with money, yes. So I will be getting that. I got some book reviews that I'm working on right now. This is one book I'm reading right now. If you can see it, The Whiteness of Wealth by Dorothy Brown. That'll be coming up very, very soon. Talks about how the tax code is very, very racist. So, and I definitely see the viewpoint there. But I'm definitely only breaking that down. And there's a couple other books that I'll be talking about as well. So anybody else got any other questions? Anything else? Let's see. I'm looking. What up, Trey? How you doing? Yeah, she's great. I really like her a lot. I hope I say your name right. Is it Pac IRA? Pac IRA Financials? Correct me if I'm wrong. I hate messing up names. Okay, Stephen, I got you. Or Stephen, I got you. Miss Bolden, how are you? Welcome. Let me scroll back up. Let me find your question. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Sometimes I start running my mouth and I lose my place. All right, here we go. Quick, your opinion on what are the best gas fuel stocks to buy right now? I would buy, well, technically I own it. I own XLF. No, not XLF. I own XLE. I always do that. I always confuse them. So I own XLE, which is the ETF for energy. It's the energy ETF. It's the biggest energy ETF, focuses on that sector, pays a great dividend. And that's what I like. Why gas? Why fuel? Why are you interested in that? I'm surprised you're not interested in alternative energies. Mr. PDQ, how are you, sir? Happy Wednesday. But yeah, I own XLE. I'm really starting to buy a whole lot more dividends, even though a lot of them are very, very pricey at this point. But I love the idea of dividends. It's the ultimate form of passive income. You buy it, you set it and forget it, and you get paid. Now, there are exceptions, right? There are exceptions. Sometimes the board does not allow a dividend, or they won't issue a dividend. So the bots are commenting on my YouTube channel. The bots are vicious. They're vicious on all these platforms, y'all. So that's what I would get. And you know what? I will pull up XLE real quick. Actually, let's start from the beginning. Who knows the process? Anytime you want to look at a stock, where do we start? Somebody put in the chat, where do we start? I do the same thing every time. Yeah, I just talked about Coinbase, Trey. It's my money. How are you? Trey, I'm not a big fan of IPOs. I don't like IPOs. Every time, and you'll see this on my Instagram because I was playing around with my TikTok a little bit. But every time an IPO happens, usually it gets ran up on the first day, and then the price usually falls. So I always say, wait. Listen, if it's a good company, just wait. It's going to stay good, even if it goes up a little bit more, right? Sometimes you'll miss some of the run-ups. It's okay. One of the things you want to do when it comes to this thing called money, you don't want to operate from a mindset or spirit of scarcity. You want to operate from a mindset of abundance. That's, in my opinion, what's most important. If you understand that abundance, like there's always going to be an opportunity, you're not scared to lose out, or not as scared, right? Because we're all human beings. Even myself, there's some picks that I missed, and I'm like, damn, I should have got it on that. I knew what was going to happen, and I didn't do it. I didn't hit the buy button, y'all. It happens. It happens. It happens to all of us, but it's just something you got to deal with. It's kind of like that girl that gets away. She got away, or that gal, he got away. Guess what? Life goes on. All right. So, all right. So where do we start? Nobody put it in the chat. Yeah, I've seen gas jump lately, but gas jumping lately. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna break into that. Part of the reason why gas jumped is because of the freeze over in Texas, because there's a lot of refining of gasoline in Texas. Also, we are approaching summertime drive. So again, summertime drive. So summertime drive is the part where you refine oil into gas. However, you have to add these extra additives to make it more friendly for the environment. So gasoline goes up every summer or every spring into summer, and then it tends to fall typically in the fall/winter. Typically, there's exceptions to all the rules, y'all. So give me 1 second. So nobody told me what we're supposed to do. No, Trey, I think I have Coinbase, but I've never used it. So I downloaded it, and I think I looked at it, but never used it. It's a good company. They're making money. I think they're going to be in demand, but there is a bit of these IPOs get a little funky sometimes, because you get a lot of people that are looking to bid it up because they're excited. Because at the end of the day, an IPO really is a marketing event more so than it is a financial event. It's a financial event for those people that got out and got their money where they would cash out. But it's a lot of times bringing more attention to the company and to the business than it is so much for making people rich or getting people involved in the stock market. All right. So all right. So I have yahoo.finance up. So I always say, anytime you're interested in a stock, just go to yahoo.finance.com. Put it in the ticker symbol, right? So I put in XLF. XLF was up 2.78% today, almost 3%, right? So it made money. It's been up year to date 27.53%. All right, so almost 28%. And I'm looking for the dividend. I might look somewhere else for it. I think it pays like a 6. It's either like a 5 or a 6% dividend. I'm sorry, here it is. The yield on the dividend yield is 4.42. So for every dollar, or let's say for every $100 you invest, you'll get back roughly a $4.50 return in dividend, and that's broken out over the year. So dividends usually come out quarterly. So in quarter one, you'll probably get like $1.10. In quarter two, you'll get another $1.10, and when you add it all up, it comes up to about $4.42. Now, I brought XLE when it was a bit cheaper. So at the time, my dividend yield was about 6%. All right. So what's in XLE? Let's look at it, right? Because remember, ETFs, exchange traded funds, are what? They are a basket of investments, basket of stocks, a basket of commodities, a basket of currencies, right? And oftentimes you can get very specialized stocks. It can be a basket of specialized stocks into one sector or one industry. So right now we're looking at an industry, we're looking at energy. And so this is a basket of energy stocks. Top stock holding, ExxonMobil. The second stock holding, Chevron Corp, ConocoPhillips, Schlumberger, EOG, Phillips 66, Marathon Petroleum Corp, Valero, Pioneer, Kinder Morgan. And then, there's more. These are just the top 10. So that will give you access to just about every big money shaker. If everybody can see this, hopefully everybody can. A big money shaker that's operating in the energy space. So, yeah, I use Google Watch List. I also use TradingView as well. Doing mine. Did you learn TradingView from me? So that's what I would look at. Again, none of this stuff is recommendations to buy or sell. Everything I talk about on this show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right. So remember, before you buy anything, make sure you talk to your investment and tax advisor or tax advisor, because remember, past performance is not an indicator of future results. Okay. That's why I only put $20 in Coinbase. I learned from Snapchat. Yeah, but why didn't you just wait? Why not wait? The stock's going to trade tomorrow, just like the sun is going to shine tomorrow. We don't got to rush in with everything. Yes, for the most part, Stephen, sorry about that. ETFs are the same as index funds. However, index funds typically are mutual funds. You will have some ETFs who have other strategies. And when I say index funds, they're like all passive, right? They just kind of follow a list of investments. They follow that investment. They follow that weighting, right? So the S&P 500, it has 500, like 504 actually, 504 companies. And they all have their certain amount of weightings. When you go to like an SPY, which is the biggest and oldest ETF, they follow the same weightings, right? They follow all that same stuff. All right. So I would, so to answer your question, yes. However, there are some ETFs that have active strategies as well. There are some ETFs that do some freaky things. Stay away from ETPs, exchange traded products. Now, I don't want to get too technical because all ETFs are ETPs, but not every ETP is an ETF. But I'll leave that there. All right, so Stephen says, thank you. I'm on it. I'll investigate a little harder. I Googled your company. How can I invest in your business with hopes of a return? Well, the only way you can invest in my business right now is I just got monetized, or well, you know what? Let me not even say that. Let me not even joke, because I don't want nobody saying Kamari said you could do a super chat and that's investing in his business. But where's my return? There is no return if you invest in my business. All right. You can't invest in my business because my business is a private business. It's privately owned. And I don't think I want any partners right now. Partners are rough, y'all. If you've ever had a partnership is just like marriage to a large extent. And actually, sometimes it can be rougher than a marriage. So, but I appreciate that, Stephen. Yeah, well, it's $20. So, that's small change for you, JT. So, all right. So what else is going on here on these money streets? What are these other social media money gurus telling y'all to do these days? Anything else going on? So, I mean, as we wrap up, I figured I would talk about something that I saw and I thought was totally bogus and BS. Junior's washing detail. What's up, son? How you doing? Can I get my car washed? Everybody, well, at least y'all who've been following me on IG knows my son just started his mobile washing detail. So listen, everybody go follow Junior's washing detail over on Instagram. All right, Luna, Muna, Sun. All right, see, I'm about to air you out, so I'm not gonna do that. All right, son, I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting on you. So, all right, so as we wrap up, y'all know my show is primarily about us, right? It's primarily about Black folks and how we can do good with our money. So I saw a money story that I wanted to talk about. Before I come to the story, I just want to see this last comment real quick. All right, so Stephen says, understandably so. With that being said, I don't live in Philly no more. Okay, I live in the Midwest. How can I sit down with you one-on-one and build a profitable portfolio with your guidance? We can do a Zoom chat, and we can do a consult with a Zoom chat. Just send me, matter of fact, text me. You can text me at 215-974-0058. Again, 215-974-0058. All right, and we can set something up. Anybody else that wants to join my community, that's my community off of Facebook, off of the social medias. I don't like the idea of only being able to be in touch with my folks when I go live or through a video or some kind of DM. Because at the end of the day, all these platforms are owned by the folks. And it seems like they treat us different than they treat everybody else, just like mass society. And so I don't like that sense of control. And I'll say this too, right? I was kind of joking the other day, right? And I said, Facebook, what's going on with all these bots? It seems like the bots get way more leeway than Black voices and Black businesses. I know several Black-owned businesses who ad accounts are getting suspended or ads won't be ran because they feel that they violate TOS, but there's no real violation of TOS because you'll see other PWI companies run similar type ads and they're running just fine. And I've seen that time and time and time again. And so, like, it's not a coincidence. It's not just some random occurrence. It's a real deal. It's a real deal. All right, but I wanted to talk about the story. I wanted to see what y'all thought. Because BLM has been in the news a lot. More like the BLM co-founder has been in the news a lot. And so I wanted to see what y'all thought. They're basically trying to say that the lady ran off with the bag. But I find this interesting that they're putting the Black Lives Matters people center because Black Lives Matters is anti everything that's establishment, anti everything that's kind of American at this point, right? Because they're standing for Black Lives Matter. Now, some people don't like the term Black Lives Matter because it doesn't represent some of the crimes that are going on in Black communities. But that wasn't their purpose. And they never claimed it to be their purpose. So, yes, they said it's mentioned a fraud. So I wanted to just kind of pull up something, and I wanted to get my commentary on it because I find it interesting that some of the most, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'll say this, Black Lives Matter, the organizations, right? Remember, it's a coalition of different organizations, have done a lot of work and have pushed for a lot of change. I know a lot of people don't like defund the police. They don't like the idea of it. But when you actually pull back the layers and get past the title, it makes sense. They're basically just saying that policing in its current form and state is not helping society and doesn't need the same allocation of money as everybody else. Doesn't mean that we don't need police, but the other side always spins, right? So remember I said earlier that mass media is the devil. And then so you'll have people, because nobody cares about nuance, nobody cares about context. All they care about, if it bleeds, it leads. Let's just throw it out there and let's just paint this narrative for the most part. Black people have suffered the most from that type of thinking. And it's sad. But you got to pull the layer back on things and really dive deep and really ask yourself, well, why are they attacking this group now? Okay, so here's the story. and I'm going to put up one of the posts because the post is, in my opinion, is not one of the most regarded news outlets, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I want to share this one. There it is. So basically, because the founders, or one of the founders of BLM, Black Lives Matter, brought some property, they're saying that this woman is fraudulent. But again, I find it odd, right? So here's the title: Marxist Black Lives Matter leader reportedly raked in big bucks from jail reform initiative. Now, let's just look at the title. Big bucks from jail reform initiative. Well, we know Black Lives Matter isn't just one person, right? It's a lot of people. It's a whole coalition. It's not just one person. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, so they're talking about how they got consulting in a total of $191,000 in January of 2019 from a campaign finance data report. They're also talking about how they bought some property in California worth $3.2 million. All right. Now, if anybody knows anything about California real estate, you probably can't buy anything decent out there in the LA area for at least like $500 million. And that's probably like a closet somewhere. And so, again, they're going on and on and on, talking about working multiple jobs. Well, this is the lady. She says, I work multiple jobs across many organizations my entire life. I'm also a published author, writer, producer, professor, public speaker, and performance artist. I love my work in all these areas, and I work hard to perform for my family, she continued. So that is the quote that they got from the BLM, or Black Lives Matter, co-founder, Janaea Khan, because there's two of them. One is, I always get them confused. But at any rate, right, they're bringing up all these things like you can't be an activist and make money at the same time. Like you can't do good and do well at the same time. And because you brought something in California, by the way, she has a best-selling book, folks. She's got a best-selling book, and she's got a media deal with Warner, right? On top of that, she also does all that other stuff, from being a professor and all the other things. So she might have some other consultancies. So again, just because you do good doesn't mean you have to be poor. And so what I find very interesting is, at this point in time, why now? Are they trying to be preemptive about Dante? I can't think of Dante's last name, but the other young man that was killed in Minneapolis, that was oddly connected to George Floyd. Like he was taught by George Floyd's girlfriend. George Floyd's girlfriend was his teacher. Like how odd, how remotely like connected is that? That's like really weird. But I think we need to watch out for mass media. I'll say that. By the way, I'm a member of the Black Journalists Association, right? So I don't just kind of say this stuff willy-nilly. I hang around journalists all day long. Some of them call me a journalist. I don't accept that tag. I do try to incorporate journalists like exercises and processes into my work. I like to look at multiple sources, sometimes interview people. So I thoroughly respect the journalist process. However, we also have to look at how institutions have treated Black folks and people of color in this country and around the world, to be totally honest with you. So again, I find it odd of the timing of that post, of those reports. Why now? Y'all didn't know about these properties before? Or was it because Dante just died and they want to try to put a wrinkle in Black Lives Matter's armor? They want to try to put a chink in the armor. So again, I just caution folks, because I saw a lot of people that were on Twitter grinding her up. I would just say, look at everything with your third eye. And my man Joe Madison says that, another one of my favorite shows, but you have to look at things through multiple lenses, and it's not just one. Don't just run with the crowd. Don't just follow what people say. Really think about a thing. like process it, analyze it. We are in this area where everybody just wants everything done instantaneously. And then in that pursuit of instantaneous, instant gratification, we like to just run off and go with the masses and be like sheep and be herded. So I hope none of you will do that. I hope y'all all will look and listen and process with your third eye, listen with your third ear as well, and not just kind of run off with all this stuff. Again, I find it really, really interesting that now, and of all times, that they start talking about this. But that's all I got for tonight, folks. I appreciate all of you being here. As always, you can always connect with me. I put the text up there. Text me 215-974-0058. Again, 215-974-0058. Again, I appreciate you all being here, but I'll be back. I'll be back on Saturday at noon with Wealthy Conversations. So until then, do me a favor. Listen to the Black Wealth Project. All you got to do is Google the Black Wealth Project. Give me a rating and review. And everything will be good. You'll be helping me find and being discovered by other audiences. So, all right, folks, everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you Saturday. So long. Bye-bye.